think you have seen what's happening today in the headlines. I was just reading Standard and I realized that they want to regulate social media users, content creators, YouTubers, and anyone who is creating content online, including bloggers. And it's very funny that some people are celebrating, especially those ones who are supporting the government. Now, this thing originates from 2024. Actually, since that time, the government has been planning to regulate social media, and that is the reason why the likes of Kabogo are in government. They want to push this agenda, and this is not something that anyone should celebrate. Now, in Kenya, if you go to TikTok, you'll see everyone has got an opinion, and as you know, this is a free world. And on social media, each social media platform has got its own rules. If you break them, you are either banned from the platform or you are at least regulated. So it's not free the way people think. Now, the government, what they want to achieve is that, right now the government controls courts, it controls intelligence, the police, it controls judiciary and the parliament. So it can pass any law, it can do anything. But the only thing that it does not control is social media. Now, by regulating it, it means they have controlled the narrative. Now, to make it worse, what they want to do is that they want content creators to be licensed by Communication Authority of Kenya. And as you know, if you are a YouTuber, the only thing you need is a YouTube channel and you'll create content. But if this law is passed, then in future it is very difficult to create content if you are not licensed, especially if you become very popular. They also want anybody with at least 10,000 followers, either TikTok, Facebook, even X, to be licensed by Communication Authority of Kenya. If you are not licensed, then you cannot operate your account. Now, to make it possible, what they will be doing is that when you are logging into your social media account, you must use your ID. When you want to register, you must use your ID so that it can make them easy for them to trace you. Now, there's no problem with that. Now, the problem comes when the government does something that Kenyans don't like, and Kenyans are making noise online. So they will control the narrative if they are regulated. So if there's someone who writes something against the government, even if it's true, and they become so popular, it gets many comments, many reactions, since they are going to regulate, then they'll determine how many reactions you'll get, how many comments you'll get. They use Communication Authority to even block you from the platforms, because once they have your details, then they can do that. So they want the control of users to move from social media owners to the government, which is very, very dangerous and bad for content creators and anyone. Now, there's also another thing. They're trying to introduce meters. Like, we have tokens where you And you also have Safaricom lines where you know your activities, even M-Pesa. It's like M-Pesa, where you know the activities of someone. We have, if you go to Kenya Power, you'll see how you have consumed your electricity. Now, these meters of social media, the government will be able to know your activities, what you are doing, who you interact with, how much you spend on social media. This one will help them to come up with policies to enable them to tax you, and also to enable to control you, and also to get opinion about how people are going to vote. So that is, they're actually mining data. They will mining data. It will make them very easy for them to mine data. And if at all they want to get you, right now, you know, when you're using social media, when you want to sign up to social media, let's say Facebook, you don't need your ID. All you need is you can create an email which does not have your name, and also create a password, then use someone's photo, then you can join social media. But if they in future, if that law is implemented, then you cannot join social media unless you have an ID. No, this one, of course, they have good intentions with ID, but there are other hidden agenda. The good intention is that children, people who don't have IDs, people who are not Kenyan citizens, will not be able to create content in Kenya. They will not be able to access social media. So you must have ID for you to access. And of course, if you have an ID, you can access you can open as many social media accounts as possible. But in this case, if someone is using your account, you are the one who will be answerable. So social media, you have heard the CS for communication saying that, and even Atwoli has said that they have to regulate social media. And in this case, what people want to do, especially leaders, is to commit crime and do anything bad, and they don't want to be answerable. For example, if someone steals 10 billion, they don't want to be publicly known. So once they control social media, they'll control the information that is being spread on social media. Of course, they said misinformation, but there are laws which are governing this country. If there's misinformation, someone should be taken to court. But this one basically is to ensure that opinions which are raised online are in line with the government. If you have contrary opinion, it will be easier for them to get access to you. It will be easier for them to close your YouTube channel, because they will be controlling that. Since you are going to register with Communication Authority, you will be like a radio or TV. They'll warn you, stop. If you don't stop, tomorrow you wake up, you find that your channel is not there, or your license has been withdrawn. You cannot operate, which is not good. So for those ones who are celebrating, you know, this law, this bill, of course, it's in public participation stage, and you know what happens when it goes to parliament. Now, after it is passed, you will celebrate and think that it will affect those ones who are opposed to government. But you know, it will become a law. Once the government is out of power, another government will come, and we will see whether you will celebrate. So this is not something you can celebrate. it's something that you have to think and you have to be very careful about. So basically, it will affect those ones who support the government or anyone who does not support. And this one, let it be known, if you are a YouTuber, you know those topics that trend are those ones which are controversial. And in most cases, if you talk about politics, if you bring a guest that is against the government, then your license is withdrawn. You know, the people like Obinia, you know what happened? He hosted Gachagua, and the opinion that was captured from that discussion, it was a national debate, and the government was not happy. If Obina, if he was in that era where YouTubers are licensed by a communication authority, I'm very sure you'll have lost the license and you'll lose the income. No, Obina makes more than $1 million per month. Imagine losing that because of the license. Or you are warned, you are told you must talk positive about the government in future, and you must not bring a guest from the opposition. So that's the bad side of this. And you know, in Kenya, we are very far because we have to ensure that leaders are accountable, and that is because of social media. So if the law is implemented, you will see who will celebrate. It is the politicians, because they will steal and will never do anything. If you try to raise alarm, your license is withdrawn or you are blocked from social media. And that is the truth of the matter. So just wait and see what will happen.